Good evening to you and welcome to another episode of FPL Apprentice. This time it is episode 74 ahead of game week 32, one of the double game weeks we've got left this season. And we're back together, Matt. Matt, you've got a bigger tan than I am, and I'm the one that's been the Caribbean. What have you been doing?
A bad week to pick it. Bad 2 weeks, sorry, to kind of pick it. It's been beautiful weather in the UK. But welcome back, and
Thank
I
you.
think welcome back to some professionalism in terms of the content. So apologies
Not at
the
all.
downgrade
You did a
last
fine
week when I
job.
was riding solo. I'm glad to have you back, mate. But yeah, hope you enjoyed your trip to the Caribbean. And
You did.
who said being a content creator doesn't pay, innit? A cruiser on the
Well,
Caribbean as well.
you know what I mean? So, this living the high life. And I got to watch some Premier League games that I wouldn't have otherwise got to. I don't know why this is the case. We live in the UK, and the amount of the lack of Premier League activity on our TVs is unreal. So on this ship, I'm in the middle of the Caribbean, and they basically played every single Premier League game. So I got to watch more football than I would have at home.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm guessing a lot of time out at sea, a lot of time to digest, consider. I'm
Unfortunately,
expecting you to be philosophical around your FPL team with a lot of great insight.
well, we might skip over my team because I've had two green arrows since I played my Wildcard 2 weeks ago, but it's they've been the smallest green arrows of my life. So I'm not best pleased, Matt. You've been flying them.
Yeah, well, I was just doing the numbers, mate. I think rank is average. I'm 170k, but I had my best game week of the season. This most recent game week. Yeah,
Let's
thank you
load it up.
to
Let's
Mr.
load it up.
Murphy and
Let's
Livermento. Well,
Yeah, we'll load it up.
huh? You go
I
straight
should
to it, or
go
are you
through
going
the
to do your
agenda.
agenda?
I'll do the agenda. I'll do the agenda just so, but that is going to be the first slide. It's going to be Matt's best game week of the season. But we'll also touch on differential options ahead of game week 32. We're going to focus on the players there that are 15% owned or less. Have a little look at game week 32 captain. Might be a chip that somebody might be playing there, not to spoil anything. Look at our week 32s, Matt versus Dave, and finish as we regularly do with the Apprentice Mini League. But Matt, we will start with your game week. And may I just say, I've been having a look. The last 9 game weeks, you've had 9 green arrows, 9 in a row, taking your rank from 847,000 down to 172,000. That is a hell of a run.
Yeah, but I feel good. And I think in the last 21 game weeks, I've got 19 green arrows as well. So,
Wow.
yeah, which kind of puts into perspective how bad my start was, right? But I think it's been slow and steady since there. So, yeah, there's been some mistakes along the way, but I've been moving up the ranks, and I think, yeah, when I look at some of the competitive mini leagues I'm in, yeah, I'm moving in the right direction, which is good. That's what we want to see. And more often than not, the moves I'm making now seem to be getting a little bit lucky as well. So I've got to be happy, mate, and yeah, going in the right direction. Going in the right
Nice.
direction. So yeah, I scored 65 points last game week, which is 135 game week rank, which yeah, it's really strong. These days, especially when not playing a chip. So, yeah, best single game week of the season. Went probably half my rank, which is really good. I think I was 270k going into the game week. Yeah, I've got to kind of like thank the late fixture. I think targeting
Yeah.
Leicester is a real thing. I
Mm.
think we were debating a few weeks ago, right? Is it Leicester or Southampton who are the team to target? I think since Van
Gross.
Nistelrooy's come in, it's Leicester, right? They are
Yeah.
absolute garbage. I think they're probably the worst team I can remember in Premier League recent
Yeah.
memory, right? So I think that's a real thing. So yeah, it's my Newcastle boys came through. Obviously, Isaac, the highly owned hot property. Yeah, he kind of blanked, but he had a bit of threat. But yeah, it was Murphy and Livermento for me with 16 points. Yeah, Murphy bringing like uh, yeah, the two attacking reserves and Livermento with an assist. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with that justification because it was like went for Murphy, cheap option, but he was fit. Gordon was not fit, and he's just been
Yep.
churning out decent underlying stats all season. So I was happy on with Murphy. You, I think, were a game week one. Dare I say, early
I was.
adopter?
I was game week 1 owner, and then I think I had him for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then he got benched, so I ended up selling him. But Murphy is, since the turn of the year, has been involved in the third most goals in the league. He is just behind Salah and Isaac. He is third. So
But he has been excellent. He has really been like
mm,
outside. Like obviously, he's been excellent all year. So I think yeah, fair play. You identified him maybe a little bit too soon, but yeah, I've been fortunate enough to jump on just the right time. And like Livermento went in because of the doubles, but also a little bit more minute certainty attacking threat versus a
yeah,
burn. So yeah, kind of really happy with that. And like yeah, rest of my team did okay. Yeah, Ray and blanked. Vardiol, he's playing centre back for Man City, but
yeah.
if they keep a clean sheet, he's going to get 9 points, right? Because the amount of touches he gets, and everyone else in that defence is classified as a midfielder, and then Diaz doesn't really do too much. Munoz got an attacking return. Rest of my team, Salazar blanked. Palmer was benched. Very interesting. So kind of regretting not picking Saka over Palmer. I thought Palmer would be like, yeah, a minute certainty. That when I
This week
wildcarded
though,
game
man,
week 30.
this week all these people that have gone for Saka already have got to dodge Palmer at home to Ipswich.
Yeah, well, he might be benched. Who knows? But we'll come back to Palmer. But yeah, it was a bit surprised he benched. And yeah, up front we spoke about Isaac, Mamouche, blanked. Could have got a return. Matata got a return. So yeah, pretty decent on my bench. Like was I think, in a good way. Quite simple decisions of who to bench. So I'm kind of like I'm happy. But yeah. Should we talk about wildcard because we haven't spoke? We should let's talk about chips
Yeah,
remaining. We must talk about
yeah,
wildcard reflections, given we both wildcarded game week 30 and my subpar content when you were away, living your best
that's,
life.
that's all.
We didn't chat for it, but yeah, chips remaining, triple captain, free hit, bench boost. My strategy was the triple captain in game week 32 or game week 36, and then bench boost in game week 33. Um, do I have any regrets now? Last week I said I liked the strategy where people went for bench boost in game week 32 because it meant that you could keep some good Newcastle players and not waste free transfers moving them out. Now, it depends on what players you picked. Some people picked Nottingham Forest players and Brighton players for their bench to bench boost in game week
Yeah,
32. That's a nice strategy. They're going to play. Other people chose Arsenal players and Aston Villa players. If you went down that route, I wouldn't be feeling very confident, right? Because of the Champions League kind of rotation. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't go down that game week 32 route was just the risk of rotation. And just like that fear that without a double game week, someone might not even play or might not start. Maybe they may get a 1 point for 20 minutes coming on as a sub. So I'm kind of happy with the game week 33 bench boost option, that strategic call. I think the people who made the call going Brighton and Nottingham Forest players on the bench because of their easy fixtures and that just minute certainty coming in game week 32. They call a blinder. My team, the players I picked into my team, I can't really comment on Gabriel, right? Of course, I'd prefer Timber or Saliba, right? But you can't really predict an injury. I kind of wish I went. I think you've done a good pick in terms of you. I think you've got the optimal three for Man City in Diaz, Vardiol, and Marmouche. I want Savino, who I think will start playing now because I think he's their best player on the right wing, but he is a rotation risk. He didn't play at all. Game week 31. So I think I would have picked Diaz in hindsight. And the other player is probably as it's probably yeah, it depends. If I picked Diaz, I wouldn't have picked Munoz probably, and then and there's like I could have probably gone if I went Diaz, I would have gone Rogers. You could have got some points if I played him, but also it saves a transfer down the line. And likewise, Palmer and Saka. I think people who picked Saka with his return in game week 30 got a bit lucky. Obviously, he didn't get any return, but nor did Palmer game week 31. But it saves me a transfer down the line. So I kind of wish I went Saka, like given what I knew now. But I think based on information game week 30, bringing in Palmer for a nice 3-game week run with, on
Makes
paper,
sense.
certainty would have been good. But so I'm kind of happy with my calls and my strategy. Generally, I think there was a few things around the edges that I would have optimized, but I'm happy. And I think, and I'll call this out on you, making a plan and sticking to it is kind of quite important.
We'll come on
But
to that.
I'm in a good place, mate. I had some good news. I think 2 days ago, fantasy wise, number
Which
5
is
in the top points scored in the last 10 years.
number
Not
five.
bad.
Say that again. You're back to top. Your top five.
No. Like points scored in the
Oh,
last 10 years, I'm number 5.
oh, you are nice, nice.
A lot of that
Hey,
is
happy.
the historic scores, but
Yeah, you'll take it. You
I'll
will
take that.
take that. So absolutely. So your top five for the all-time FPL point scorer.
Well, in the last 10 years, that's long winded if we could put that in the title. But
We'll stick with former number one, which is the case. And I didn't say that at the off. The
yeah,
next episode, I'll
I'm
start
feeling
with
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling lucky, fortunate. I'm heading in the right direction FPL wise, so I'm feeling good.
yeah. I mean,
Now,
I'm looking at your team. You know, the Gabriel injury is unfortunate for you, but you've got two free transfers this week. Arsenal don't double till next week anyway, so you've got time to bring somebody in for him. But the rest of it, you might Saka's gettable very easily for you from Parma once he's played Ipswich, and the rest of them for that bench boost 32 all seem pretty well set. I know Ariola's not got a double, but he's got Southampton if I'm not mistaken in that game week, so a really
and
good
he's very,
fixture for
very
him.
cheap as well. And he very cheap. He's 4.2
4.2,
left.
4.3. So a nice differential. But I can't knock it, man. I mean, if you had the money, Eze instead of Saar, but I'm assuming you didn't have the money for that, so it makes a lot of like getting Sarins
Well,
instead.
if I went, yeah, I would have gone Eze instead of Savino, but then I wouldn't have Munoz who's got returns. But yeah, I would have preferred,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
Eze and Diaz over Munoz and Savino, but I just couldn't afford it. But it is what
yeah.
it is.
That's it. Based on the budget, it's a pretty strong squad. Can't knock it. Transfers there, as I say, to sort out Gabriel and maybe ring in Saka, but you're pretty well set for bench boost 33.
Well, we'll talk about the bench boost now. Like I think, well, let me talk about it now. So my bench boost now, it's not really great, but like my bench will consist of Ariola against Southampton. That's decent. Single game week. Salah. That's
Yeah,
Salah, isn't
and
it?
against Leicester,
Yeah, exactly. Isaac against
against
Villa.
Villa,
But that's Isaac, isn't it? And then what else would I have on that bench? Maybe
Murphy, maybe.
Liveramento or maybe
Yeah,
Murphy. They're okay
yeah,
players,
yeah.
right? If I take a hit, then it might be a double game week, and then yeah, Palm will become a Saka. Who else would I move? I'd move
Gabriel's plays twice apart from them.
Murphy to Rogers, um, and then yeah, probably Gabriel to Timber. So yeah, it's a decent. It's probably the best bench I'd have in the year. Right? There's not double game
Yeah,
weekers on my bench necessarily, but benching Isak or Salah,
yeah. Would
your
be fair.
team
You
will rock.
wouldn't do it, would you? You'd end up if Salah's against Leicester, regardless of who's got a double game week, you're playing Salah.
Yeah, true. Maybe Savino on my bench, but like that's still good. Savino, Man City
Mhm.
player on my bench, and some decent single game because
Yeah,
Isak included. That's an okay bench, so I can live with that. I'd love all my bench to be double game weekers, but it's going to be solid enough. It's going to be solid enough, so
absolutely.
I can live with that.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. Before we move on to mine, what I want people to put in the comments below. Matt is drinking a prosecco and orange. Is that called a Kia Royale or is that called a Bellini? Because we were having that discussion before we joined. So put in the comments
It's a
if you
Bucks
if you're
Fizz, isn't it?
watching.
Bucks
What
Fizz,
is it?
maybe.
Bucks Fizz. It's as simple as Bucks Fizz, is it?
Or was
Making your
that
mind up.
champagne?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You're googling. I can see you googling it. I'm showing my age with the making your mind up joke. I probably am.
it's not.
I'm going to
No,
say
it's not.
yes. You
It's not
clearly
Key
don't know Bucks
Royale.
Fizz
The
stands
Key
for.
Royale is completely different.
Bellini's different probably as well. Um, but yeah, we will jump onto my team whilst you Google that, and I'll run through
It's a
my
mimosa,
squad.
of course.
It's a witch.
It's a mimosa.
It was a mimosa. Mimosa.
Yeah.
Shit, though, my wife drinks. Yeah, we'll touch on my team. I'll run through it pretty quickly. Some similar players in there. I rolled my
Mm.
transfer, so nothing to report in that side of things. 47 points overall, 1.6 million for the game week. So it was a green, jumping from. It says red. That's meant to say green, so it's jumping from 311 to 304. So it's two greens in a row since I wildcarded, but not by much. I was 316k before the wildcard, so it's two very small greens. But I'd rather have a green than a red. So the main parts of my team were are probably a little bit different to some others that did the wild card at the same time as I went for double city defence. That's worked out really well for me. They've got two clean sheets in a row,
Yep.
and Diaz and Guardiola are the ones that are playing. So happy with that.
That's why
Decided
they're
to
two clean
start,
sheets as
and
well. Honestly, I think like they're the two best defenders and like up there with some of the best centre backs in the world, isn't they? So I think their underlying stats were good. I don't know if you looked
yeah,
into that before you picked them, but they were
yeah,
looking
yeah.
quite promising coming in to the
Well,
wildcard period.
I've had Clivert and not Semenyo on my wild card, so I'll kind of do this together. Review my week, talk about my wild card at the same time.
Yeah.
I had Clivert, and therefore I couldn't afford Diaz. So I had that Ukrainian lad. Is he Ukrainian?
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Beginning with a K. That's their centre back. He'd played since they bought him in. And then somebody we both know, Sam Ralph Allen, messaged me, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, have you seen the climate news? Just as I was going off the cruise ship, so I was about to lose Wi-Fi. So I was like, crap, need to do something about it. So I moved Climate to Semenyo, and then it allowed me to upgrade to Diaz.
You
So
lucky boy.
lads, thank you, Sam, if you're listening. Thank you, Sam, if you're listening, for the message. But yeah, that's working out quite well. Quite happy with that ahead of a Man City double, and they've got some nice fixtures, so I can genuinely see me just leaving both of them until the end of
They
the
might
season
double again
as
as
we
well.
start
Like
battling.
they might
Yeah,
double again.
that's it.
They might double again in 36. So I think it's a nice little set
They'll
you got
sit.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll sit. They'll sit. Probably depending on Haaland's injury, so will Marmoush. Denberg got a clean sheet. Raya obviously conceded his penalty. Quite happy with Semenyo getting a return. Saka's minutes, not so happy. And there's something for you, mate. Oh, Burn's a bit of a differential because he's only 3% owned. Downside, the high-owned defenders from Newcastle. Shah had a shot that hit the bar and then came back out and he got an assist from it. And then Livramento got an assist. So Burn basically got half of their points despite that clean sheet. But
He's
there's
the worst
something for
one.
you. It's which?
I know he was the cheapest, wasn't he? But he's got the
He's the
least
cheapest.
attacking threat when you do look at them. So
He has. So the reason I got him was purely based on price. And we'll come on to this, right? I got him a 4.4 because it left me with 0.8 million pounds in my bank to allow me to get Glasner as an assistant manager in game week 31. We'll touch on that in a second, Matt. Here's a stat for you. Rodgers has got 132 points this season. He's been on
I
my bench for 62 of them.
I swear I was a game week 0 -4 Rogers early adopter, so I'll take that as well. You can have Murphy
Aina.
and who's that defender?
Aina. It's Aina.
Aina.
That was Aina game week one.
I'll take Rogers. Yeah, he's been doing good. I think there's a bit of fortune in the last couple of game weeks, but like he's the main man actually when they've got their first 11. Given Watkins even is rotating in and out like when they're playing their best
Yeah.
squad. So I think Rogers is the main man. You got to live with it benching him, right? I mean, like anyone would realistically bench him the last two game weeks. So I think you've got to kind of like live with that, and like, you can't really predict his points, right? They come a bit
No.
random.
No.
It's a good player to have on your bench. But mate, I think you got gone for your squad here. So Rogers, Concert, Gabriel on the bench, and Pope as well.
Yeah.
Wildcard. Any regrets? Similar to
Yeah.
what you were asking me. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I set myself up. You touched on this before. Set yourself up and stick into a strategy. I don't think it's a coincidence that over the last 9 game weeks you have climbed. In game week 19, I was sat at 57k in the wild,
Now you should be
and
10K by now.
it's been downhill ever since. I'm
Mm.
down to 304k now, and it's because I planned things and then I haven't stuck to them. Right? Give you some examples. I'd planned to play the assistant manager chip in game week 24. Ended up playing the triple captain. Last minute decision. I then thought, well, I'll play the assistant manager in 25, 26, and 27. and I'd have put it on Glasner. Glasner over that period got 40 points. I
Yeah.
dodged it, didn't play it because I saw there could be a double game week for Newcastle 2 in a row or Crystal Palace 2 in a row. That obviously then did happen. So my plan was game week 30, 31, and 32. I'll play the assistant manager on Glasner. Oh, sorry, 31, 32, 33. As you can see, looking at the screen, mate, I've also dodged that in favour of bench boosting in game week 33, which means I'll have to assistant manager later in the season, probably 36 will be incorporated into that. Glasgow obviously won, got 8 points. Point I'm trying to make is, mate, I've had all of these plans and then at last minute gone against it. So that means I regret some of my wildcard decisions because number one, I'd have put in a third Palace player, knowing that they'd have
Yeah.
4 games in 2 game weeks. Now I need to fit one in, which uses up one of my transfers. Probably wouldn't have bothered with Semenyo. Maybe I would have. I don't know. But that's the main one. The main one is not having a third Palace player, mate.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, we'll talk about assistant manager in a second. Yeah, spoiler. I think that's a major cock up looking at your team structure. I thought you were like pretty well set for that, and it was a good strategy and plan. I would be really interested why you didn't play your assistant manager in game week 31.
I'll touch on it.
But outside of like having an additional Palace play, you're happy. You got to be happy with your structure. I think you got the template forwards right. You've got Diaz and Vardio and Mamouche. There's no gauge. It's a good structure, right?
Yeah, I'll get to game week 33, which is now I'm going to stick to this. I will stick to this. I'm going to bench boost in 33. And I'm looking at it, and I'll get at least I can get 12 out, 12 doublers, plus Salah, plus Isaac, plus another. I can get to that without any hits. Whether I do that is a different matter, but yeah, I'm fairly happy with the rest of it. I've set now to answer that question, mate. I did some maths, right? I was looking at the fixtures. I went right.
So
Next
this
three
is like
game weeks,
why didn't you put the assistant manager on Glasner or
correct,
someone else? Give me 31 for
correct,
32 and 33 as well. Okay.
correct. And it was me. It was based around number of fixtures, right? So if I played the assistant manager chip, I'd have got an extra fixture in game week 31 for the manager, of course. I'd get an extra game in game week 32 because I can now bring in a third Palace player, right? So that takes one of them out. So I get an extra fixture for that. But in game week 33, I'm going to get an extra 5 fixtures from a bench boost. And the reason is I'm never going to bench Salah. I'm never going to bench Isaac, regardless of people playing twice. So on my pitch, I'd have had 20 games plus Glasner. Whereas with a bench boost, I can get 26 games. So it just gives me a lot more to play with in terms of number of fixtures.
So you get 5 extra.
Overall, I'll get 5 extra fixtures playing the bench boost strategy in 33.
And you'll count in 32 the extra 30 32 to get an extra game as well for the assistant manager.
Correct.
Okay. Well, obviously, have you calculated how many points you think a player would get on your bench versus an assistant manager, given the propensity for these assistant managers to score fucking huge points?
So the benched players will be Salah and Isaac, and that's what's thrown in. Because I could never sit there with Salah on my bench playing Leicester.
Who would you be
Or
playing
it'll be a
instead?
double.
Who's
It'll be a
starting?
double.
Who's starting in your
It'll
midfield?
be, so I'll end up. Well, it'll be Saka, Salah, Rodgers, and then I'll move. Semenyo's got Palace, so I'll probably move Semenyo onto a double, and it might be Marino if I want to go somebody different. It could be another Villa midfielder, like a Rashford.
Do you think Saka will play
Someone
two
that's
game
probably.
weeks?
I've got to play him, right? I can't. If I've got him in my team, I can't not play Saka.
No, but I'm just saying, do you think he will play?
I think I'll start one,
Yeah,
come off the
exactly.
bench on the other.
Um,
And I can't not play him.
yeah. Um,
I know you hate it. I know you hate the route I've ended up taking, but
Now,
and I
who
hate
knows?
it as well.
Like, and obviously, you can't play it. You can't play it game week. You can't play it now because then that means that it's game week 34 you set up to play a free hit. Who knows? You know, you've got game week 35, 36, 37. You can have a nice run for some teams to pick there. So yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
like
can. But I think your team now is 8 points down.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to be doing this maths.
Well, it's 12 points down because you're going to do -4, which is a transfer, right?
Yeah.
You're going to need
Bring it
those
in.
transfers later in the season. That's 12 points down in one game week, and then let's see what Glasner gets in his double.
In City and Newcastle.
Yeah.
I need to then work out what my extra Palace player gets, and we'll come on to that because it depends on who I get in. I've got a couple of options.
In Glasner means you would be playing 12. You'd be playing 12 men. This game week as well. So, and it's not in your favour at the moment. You're minus 12 points. A nice Palace double now.
I need my players to bang in 33. I need my bench to bang. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm bored of talking about my mistakes because there's been quite a few of them over the last 10 game weeks.
You regret it then not playing it in game week 31? Like, can you, in hindsight now, you're like, I wish I activated it in Glasner.
It's hard to say without knowing what's going to happen in 33. Because 33, I'm going to love the fact I've not played it right. Now it's hard. I knew 31 was going to be difficult and 32 is going to be difficult. 33, I'm going to be made up. I've got a bench boost.
That's the first page next. The first agenda topic next week is Glasner watch. You're minus 12 now, so you're transferred down in -8. Let's see where you are.
Keep it on. That's it. Just keep doing the maths. But if I played it in 25, it'd have got me 40 points, and I'd have been very happy with that.
You see the point where you do it. You got when things are a bit more certain, you've got to have a plan and stick to it. Because otherwise, if you were I'm not having Glasner, you'd have Munoz as in your team.
I absolutely would already. I'd have them already.
That's the problem about flip-flopping.
Yeah, that's it. That transfer. It'd probably be. So I'll come on to that in a little while.
I mean, probably like you were saying, since game week 19, obviously a lot of red arrows from your 50k. There's been probably a bit of flip-flopping, right? You had good players like Bruno. You got Bruno in because he's got guaranteed fixtures, good fixtures in blank game weeks, and then you obviously moved him on. Same for a few other players, isn't it?
Sarr. Sold Sarr, and then he started banging. Pedro. Jean Pedro is another one. I think at one point I sold all three, and then they were in the top 3 scoring players over the 3 game weeks following my sale. That's bad luck. That's unfortunate because they weren't delivering prior to my sale. Anyway, I'm bored. I'm speaking about my mistakes. Let's move on to part of the chat, which is going to focus on differential options. Shouldn't take too long, this, Matt, but I just thought for people that are maybe chasing in a league or want to really push for a really good overall rank and don't mind taking a little bit of a risk, it was worth bringing up players for this game week that are 15% owned or less. People that can make a real difference to that rank. Jacob Murphy, by the way, despite being the most bought player this game week, is still under 15% owned. Does he seem a no-brainer to you? I know you've got him.
I don't. Well, I mean, I'd be prioritizing Palace players at the moment. It depends on the chip strategy, right? Newcastle play game 34, so if you're free hitting in 34, Newcastle less essential. If you're not, then Murphy's a no-brainer. If you are free hitting 34 because of the blank game weeks, someone like Eze becomes more interesting, right? Because the Palace double, they don't play in 34, but then they've got some nice runs after it. It's not a player, but it's a manager. But I say probably the biggest differential is Glasner.
It's all right. Stop it. Stop rubbing it in.
Oh man.
Well, you wait until I get 75 points from my manager later in the season.
I swear Glasner gave me 40 points earlier in the season.
It did. I think he did. I think you had him in 25 and 26, did you not? When he beat.
I think it was only 35 points he got. I think Moyes got me 20, and then Glasner.
Oh yeah. Still nice points. But I hate this. I said it when it was out. I'm sure I said it on this channel, but I definitely said it to you directly. I hate the assistant manager chip with a passion. And this season's not made me feel any better about it.
Don't even play it. That's the best way to protest
there's my protest. I'm not even playing the chip. It will be played at some point.
Differentials, obviously, you got these for one game week only. I'm looking at these, but obviously it's the Palace boys or the Newcastle boys, depending on chip strategy. I think if you use your free hit, then Murphy Pope are really great bets. Bruno less so, but yeah, Murphy Pope 100%, and then I think Sar's over 12%, but yeah, kind of Eze, Mateta, Munoz from Palace. If you're doing the other route where you're free hitting in 34, the obvious ones.
Yeah. So Murphy, that by the way, expected goal involvement per 90 over the last 6 game weeks, 0.95. That is high chances. Eze 0.53. Just to put that into context, Mateta is only 0.46. So Eze has been playing the better in terms of attack and returns. Sar is 0.79.
Oh, Sar, kind of
He is,
interesting because we've owned him for both of us have owned him for periods of the year and not. He's done it again where
that's when
he's
we don't have him.
when we haven't owned him, he's getting like 1.5 xgi a
Yeah.
game. Last 2 game weeks though have been like since we've got bought him on Wildcard, what 0.2 xgi.
Yeah, I think he watches this channel and just waits until we sell him before he performs.
It's crazy. It's crazy that kind of variance. But yeah, I think that obviously it's Newcastle and Palace players really depend on chip strategy, right?
Yeah. And I think you wouldn't look at a solo player like Nicholas Jackson. He's got
No,
Ipswich at home, only 6.6% owned.
no way, no way.
No, stay away. Stay away from him. Palace first, Newcastle second. As a
Oh,
bit, as a bit
it
good.
depends on chip strategy. Yeah, chip strategy dependent. If you're free hitting 34 Palace, if you're not, then Newcastle are kind of really good
Newcastle.
playing that. Yeah, the
Have
guys.
Do they have Ipswich? Ipswich in 34, I think.
I'm not sure. I know they got a fixture.
Yeah. I think it might be Ipswich.
Yeah.
Now, this one would be a very short section, mate, because I'm pretty sure we all know who is getting the captain's armband, and it'll be a surprise to nobody that the person with the highest expected points for game week 32 is Isaac with Man United at home, Crystal Palace at home, expected to get 11.4 points for the game week. Salah in second, celebrating his new contract. Could he do it in style at home to West Ham? West Ham do have Matt has dropped off, so I'll chat through this part until he rejoins. But yeah, Salah expected points of 9.2, which in a single game week is very high at home to West Ham. As I say, celebrating that 2-year contract he's just signed with Liverpool. And then Palmer's an interesting one as well, 8.2 expected points, but is playing arguably the second worst defence in the league. Just ran through that very quickly, mate. But I'm assuming for you, regardless of Salah and Palmer's fixture, it's Isaac or no one.
Well, Palmer's interesting, right? Is he fit? Is he playing? He's certainly out of form, and underlying stats are good, but he's not getting any returns. Obviously played in the Europa League, didn't he? As well, he started, got subbed to 45 mins in a 0-0. Yeah, it's really interesting. So yeah, Palmer obviously won't be going there. But yeah, Isaac, I'm kind of surprised that his expected points in this is the fix. The expected points according to fix. But yeah, other like point predictor sites, I think they've got Isaac in around that or a bit lower. I'd expect them to be a bit higher. I reckon 2 home games for a Newcastle team with Isaac and Newcastle's form. I reckon it'd be higher. So yeah, Isaac is the captain for sure. There's a debate who do you vice captain? Is it Salah for a single game week or is it Mateta? Is it Murphy?
Yeah.
But you've got to go for a double game week for sure. I think people with Isaac and with the triple captaincy, it's a real debate. Did you triple captain him? Ideally, you'd want someone with like a higher expected points threshold than that. I think triple captain, you want good as 15, right? You'd be delighted with 15. You'll be happy with double digits, and Isaac's got expected points of double digits. It's a real debate for triple captain if you've got that left, and if not, when are you going to do it? I mean, you've used yours. You used yours for almost almost a record triple captaincy score. I think Salah got an expected goal involvement of what 0.5, and how many points did he get?
29 points. 29 points he got. He's pretty
don't,
happy with that.
Don't talk about your hard luck, innit? But yeah, obviously you've used it and used it the best game week there's ever going to be for a triple captain. What would you do if you still had it? Would you use it now on Isaac, or would you wait for game week 33's maybe Saka or Marmoush? game week 36, wait to see, does Chris Wood double? Does Haaland come back and double? What would you do? Just use it now?
As they're both home games, I'd probably use it now. I think you know what, Palace's defense is really solid. When I was putting those numbers together, Palace expected goals conceded per game is about over the last 6 game weeks. This is around the 0.7,
Yeah.
0.75 mark. So their
Oh,
defense
yeah, no
is
way.
solid.
Who've they played, though?
You know, well, yeah, that's it. They've had not a bad run. Brighton. I mean, they played Brighton. Obviously, Brighton aren't a bad attacking team. Um, but that defense is pretty steady. But I think Isaac at home, Newcastle are flying. Isaac's getting. I know he didn't get amongst the goals in the last game, but the guy's the main striker. He's the penalty taker. Coming up against a very very flaky Onana, and then a
Yeah.
home game against Palace. I think I'd have to play it now.
Yeah, same. Well, reeling, but yeah. I mean, you got to go certainty because it's like game week 33. Saka probably has expected points maybe a little bit higher based on some of the algorithms and predictors. But is he fit? Is he going to play those minutes? Like, if they get through to against Madrid, the league is surely gone now. Let's see if Liverpool slip up this week. Let's see what happens. But you'd assume not against West Ham. That means the league is gone. Surely, if they get through against Madrid, they're prioritising Champions League and trying to win that.
I think.
Saka is probably going to get managed minutes, right? He might start, but will get 60 minutes game week 33. He's still coming back from a big, big injury. Who else you know captain? Marmoush. City have mixed fixtures and they've got mixed form at best, right? In game week 33. Then in game
Yeah,
week 36, a bit of a lottery, right? You don't know who's going to get a double game week. Could be Forest, could be City, could be Villa. What are you going to do? Trip captain Rogers,
should.
Chris Wood,
Yeah,
Marmoush,
I think Isaac.
Haaland might be back there. So there's no one really that stands out, is there?
Yeah, agree. And unless you, I appreciate we're both bench boosted in 33, so it makes that decision a lot easier for us. Um,
Yeah, if you made
and
that,
then
if you made
people
that
like,
route, if your team is set up for bench boost this week versus 33, then fair enough. You would consider Saka or Marmoush game week 33. But I'm talking about just if you didn't really have a
um,
preference.
yeah, I think so. Best striker, best forward in the league.
Yeah.
2 home games against, as I say, a dodgy keeper and a team that's in the bottom half of the table. I know they've been playing pretty well, Palace, in all fairness to them, but they're still in the bottom half.
Well,
Yeah, I think
Newcastle got
I'd
a lot
play it
to
now.
play for still. They're
Is
like
that
what?
again?
Newcastle got a lot to play for still, right? They're going to win
And yeah,
every game.
yeah, yeah. If they win their game in hand, which is obviously coming up this game week, if they win that, they are in fourth. So they're in the automatic qualification for
So
Champions League.
they got to win every game and like make sure they win it good as well. It's a very tight there, so
Yeah,
they got a goal difference. So Isaac, I reckon, unless they're like 4-0 up, and he would have got 2 returns if they got 4-0. They're up 4-0.
yeah.
He's playing close enough to 90 minutes. So yeah, I think Isaac is clear captaincy, and I think there's a lot to love about it.
Well, on that, let's see what you've done with them. Are you currently playing the triple captain on them? There is your team for game week 32.
So yeah, I am indeed. So yeah, game week 32, triple captain is active on Isaac with Mateta as the vice captain. That could become Murphy, that could become Salah, but yeah, at the moment it's on Isaac and Mateta for all the reasons that we spoke about just then. But yeah, I've got 2 free transfers. I'm going to roll. There's no reason. The only issue I've got on my team at the moment is Gabriel. Why bother moving him? My defense is Raya at home to Brentford, Livermento with the double, United and Palace both at home, Munoz, City and Newcastle away. He's there for appearance points and attacking returns potentially. And then Vardiol,
Yeah, yeah.
Palace home. Palmer, Ipswich, Sarr with the double. Salah, home to West Ham. Murphy with the double. Marmoush, home to Palace. Mateta with the double. And Isaac, United and Palace, both at home. Triple captain. I don't need to change Gabriel, right? I'll wait next week and see who's the best
Three
option.
free
So
transfers.
yeah, Ariola, Savino, Consa, Gabriel is the bench at the moment. So yeah, I'm not making a move, and yeah, triple captain Isaac. So excited about it.
Nice, nice. Honestly, we say regularly the boring game weeks where it's plain and obvious are sometimes the best game weeks. But it'd be
Well,
nice
that's
to
what
go
I've done
into.
it. I did wildcard. I did wildcards a week and a half ago, right? So if I'm
Yeah,
like panicking, I've done something wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
On
let's
to
see what
that.
that looks like. Let's see what somebody that played their wild card a week and a half ago and is maybe panicking looks like, shall we? As we bring up my team, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's not as bad as it sounds. I've got two free transfers as well. 0.8 million in the bank, which was set aside purely for Glasner, who is not in my team. And I've got a
Why?
couple of routes for you. I've got a couple, well, just for the fun of the game that I'm hating. But yeah, happy with the team. I could quite easily roll, so running through it, I've got Pope and Net who's got a double fixture as well as Burns, so double up on that Newcastle. And then the City team's doing me pretty well in the defence as well, so they're both Diaz and Gvardiol on the pitch, also fighting for Champions League, so need to be winning those games. Across the midfield, Salah, Semenyo, Rogers, and Sarr with his double, and then up front, similar to you, well, exactly the same as you, Marmoush, Mateta with his double, Isaac with the captaincy armband, but obviously not triple captain.
Hmm.
As I've used that, what feels horrible about that is Saka's on my bench. Now he's purely on the bench based on expected minutes because I'm with you. I know they beat Real Madrid 3-0, but I can see Saka not starting in the league. So
I
that's
can
the
see
whole
Roger.
reason
I
he's
can
on
see
the
Rogers not
bench.
starting as well.
Well, this is it. Rogers has started every game for Villa, regardless
He-
of this rotation. Now,
I'm pretty.
surely his rest is going to come.
He's going to get benched this week. I'm pretty sure.
This is the problem because what, they 3-1 down to PSG. So
Uh,
it's this is it. Do I play Saka or do I play Rogers? I'm going with Rogers based on recent performance and the fixture.
okay.
Southampton's a team to target, right? They're down, so
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so that's the reason. The sensible play here, mate. I could roll. I don't hate that team that's going out. I think the sensible play would be to get myself a third Palace player
Yeah.
because they've got 4 fixtures in the next 2 game weeks. And an easy route there is just Gabriel to Munoz, roll my seconds. So we're going to game week 33 with 2 free transfers to do what I need to there. I think that would be the sensible play. If I
Mhm.
want to have a bit of fun, I could bring in Eze. And I could do that by moving Semenyo out. But Eze, I do need to make up some money for that. So it'd be Gabriel out for a double game week 33 player, maybe an Arsenal defender. Or if I really want to get Murphy in, it's just catch my nose. It'd be Pope and Semenyo out for Henderson and Murphy. You're shaking your head a lot. I think you prefer sensible option A, which is Gabriel for Munoz and leave the
Well,
second.
Semenyo is going to stick out your team. Eze in would be good, but you can't do that for one free
Yeah,
transfer. Right? You can't do
no,
that as a like for like. Um,
no. Unfortunately,
Kiwior
not
is
for me
not
money.
guaranteed to play any minutes, right? When does Ben White or Timber become the centre back for Arsenal?
Do you think they will?
Yeah.
I thought you would get they could then swap on the right. Are they right back? I thought that Ben White and Timber had swapped right back.
Well, they're the second. That's the best three defenders, right? Is Saliba,
Once, yeah, with
Timber,
Gabriel injured.
and White. White can play a centre back and can Timber.
Not him. Not him. So is that what you were shaking your head at? He's a bad Arsenal defender to get.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
if you bring Munoz, who you're benching, like the problem is you got
he has.
an, fucking hell.
I'd have to bench Diaz, wouldn't I? Because I'm not benching Gvardiol, and I'm not going to bench Burn because he's got a double.
Oh man.
Would you rather play Diaz over Munoz?
I don't know. It's marginal, isn't it?
But yeah, that's who I'd bench. I'd have to bench him.
Oh
I
man.
don't really like having Conser on my bench, if I'm honest. At Southampton, that could quite easily be a clean sheet, but again, he could quite easily get drops like he did last week.
Why not just get rid of Gabriel and then just bench boost like?
I don't think this is the week to do it.
Oh
It's
man.
set up. I've got too many players there who
Yeah,
are going
your
to.
team is set up for an assistant manager.
If only I wasn't on
Oh,
holiday last week, you could have talked me into it.
oh man.
It'd been nice, wouldn't it? Glasner this week. But I'm
Anyone you're
telling you,
bringing
game
in,
week 33 is coming back.
anyone you're bringing in, you're benching another good player for them because you set up for that.
So what would you do? Gun to your head. Sensible play. I don't hate rolling. I don't see Palace keeping clean sheets at City and Newcastle, if I'm honest.
I'd probably roll.
I don't
Well,
hate that at all.
it depends how it depends how confident you are on Kiro's minutes. If you think he's the centre back for Arsenal, you do option C. You've got that. I'm not confident, but that's not based on any insider knowledge. So I just think like, hey,
Yeah.
Ben White or Timber can play centre back, right? But that's the best option on paper, right? If you think he's got minutes. Munoz bringing him in, I don't think there's any because given the tough like Palace playing City away, Newcastle away, they're going to concede. I'd rather play Gvardiol, Diaz, and Burn. So I'd either roll or do your option C.
Roll or C. One sensible, one fun.
And to
I
be
think fun's
honest,
going to walk me into trouble.
you can like people have minutes risks on their bench boost, right? I've got Savinho.
Yeah.
So maybe C is a bit more a bit more fun, right? And then you've got obviously the risk is you've got game week 32 and then a Champions League game and then there's game week 33. So that's moments get injured and stuff like that. But you know the risk that you're playing with. Eze will come straight into your squad and add value, right? You bench Semenyo.
Absolutely, that's who I'd bench.
So I reckon C is the option for you.
How would you feel about a Saka sale to Eze? Then it just uses one transfer.
You got to keep Saka in you. You got to keep him.
Yeah. It's just annoying. A minute's rotation annoys me.
I reckon it's a roll or C for you.
Roll or C. Roll or C. Yeah. Okay. I'll toy with that.
A and D I hate.
You hate both of them. Yeah, D feels forced. D's just gonna. That's me reacting to 16-point haul, right?
Yeah, and
so I don't think D's gonna do
know free transfers are like a blessing at the moment because there's going to be a double game week in 36 and a blank in 37 that's going to be directly linked to 36. So having free transfers is not a bad thing. Forcing moves like that, Pope and Semenyo to Henderson and Murphy is bad play.
Yeah.
It's a shame. This is a perfect assistant manager setup as you planned.
As I planned. So what that tells me is, if I'd have just stuck with my assistant manager gun, at least I set up a wildcard very well to do it. That gives me some confidence going into next season, if nothing else. Anyway, we'll move off that team. What a rubbish team. Let's get rid of that.
Go back to it for a second. It's good. It's because we've got depth. It's challenge because all the moves have a bench challenge, like I guess. So it's a solid squad. So, you're not doing that, are you?
No, I'm not doing it. It's
D. You might do D. You're not doing. So it's B or C.
I'll be honest. I'm probably going to do B, and the reason I'm going to do B is I was very tempted by C. But you're talking me the point of is he going to actually start for Arsenal as a centre back continuously is a very good point. I'll have to look at that properly.
You will want Eze or Munoz, you want Eze or Munoz next week though.
Next week, yeah. Which if I've got 3 transfers, I can do relatively easily.
Well, I guess Gabriel can go to Munoz or Gabriel can go to Lacrosse, so that's pretty easier.
I could do that next week.
Yeah, but benefit to play with. If you and Kiro is going to play, that's a move that sets you up this week and next week quite nicely.
Yeah, I know. It's that's it. So I'd have to look at that. At the minute, if the deadline was in 30 seconds, I'd roll. But yeah, I'll do some looking at it. What about Lewis Kelly? Is he injured? He seemed to be getting a lot of games.
He's playing in and out. So he's left back, don't he? So it's like Timber or Timber or White, the right back, then Kiro or White, centre back, Saliba, and then Lewis Kelly or Calafiore.
No.
So Saliba's the only one
He's an
who's
option.
proper nailed. Timber, I think, is too good not to play either centre back or as a fullback.
Yeah. I didn't realise Lewis Kelly's a midfielder on FPL.
Yeah, don't
He's out.
don't.
He's out the list.
Yeah, I guess like if you roll it next week as well, your bench boost and you could move Pope to Henderson.
Yeah. Time will tell. That could be the ruse. Pope to Henderson. Get my
Gabriel
three
to
Palace players.
Timber or Saliba.
Yeah, that give me my double Arsenal defence, which I like. That could be the route, and then a third transfer to move on, maybe a Semenyo to a bit of a
Eze.
somebody who's playing twice at Villa, maybe.
Well, you could get Eze, couldn't you? Well, you could get Rashford,
Don't get Henderson.
Senyo. Yeah.
I might do that because it'd be better for the game week 33. And I don't, as I say, the squad that's on the pitch, I don't dislike. I'm just trying to force in a Palace player because they're playing twice.
They're
The
not great.
fixtures
They're not
aren't
great
great.
fixtures, are they? Man City and
No.
Newcastle are tough. So I think let's ground
Yeah.
it in that. That's tough.
Yeah. Say what? No, what I'll do. What I'll do is play assistant manager on Glasner in game week 31. But we'll move on. we'll look at Matt versus Dave. Another thing that this is an entertainer one, mate. This is entertaining because in game week 30, you beat me by a point. We both got 2 points. You got it from Sar, I got it from Minter. Evan Nielsen goal and only 2 bonus points, whereas Strand Larson got a goal and 3 bonus points,
Oh.
giving you an 11-10 victory.
My
Taking it
apologies as well. Missing game week
12-12.
31. How could I've missed that?
I don't think
Didn't
I
even know.
sent you players, did I? So it's
I
on
didn't
me.
even ask. I didn't even ask.
Yeah, I didn't send you any, so that is on me, pal, as well. So, but it does mean we get to pick for now game week 32, and the bad news for you is, mate, you get to pick first because whatever happens, everybody that picks first in this game seems to lose.
All right. I think. Well, obviously, double game week. You can pick double game week players, right? 2 chances to roll the dice. That always helps. So, lower ceiling, no, lower floor, higher ceiling, all that good stuff. I'm going to go Bruno, who I
Bruno
believe.
Fernandez,
I,
yeah,
I
Bruno
wish
Fernandez, yeah, we'll go for that. Bruno Fernandez,
Gimenez.
Guimaraes, or
Gimenez.
however the hell they pronounce
Gimenez.
it. Yeah, he's looking. He's coming up with some attacker returns.
He's a
Uh,
big game player, isn't he? Big moment player. I think
yeah,
so. I'm
don't
happy
rate it at all.
going. I think he's had a few returns for you in the differential stakes this year. So yeah, I'll
Aye.
go Bruno as my first pick.
I don't know. I feel like this is going to be boring, pal, because it's just Newcastle, Newcastle, Newcastle. The problem is Palace's good players. Your Eze, your Matetas, your Munozes, your Sars, they're all over 5% owned.
I
There's
think
nobody else in that
even
squad I want.
Henderson, Henderson is over so you could go defensive midfielder, but you doing that? No.
No, which means I'm gonna, Isaac's out, Murphy's out, Barnes is in, but then you're questioning whether Gordon's going to get minutes and eat into that. So as a result, it doesn't feel great. But I'm going to go Joe Linton. He
Yeah.
also pops up with the odd goal and assist, similar to Bruno Guimaraes.
Don't fancy
1.1%
Tonali.
owned.
No.
No, he's a gambler, right? He'll probably get banned. That's blasphemy. That is shocking.
Joe Linton, yeah,
Uh,
like it. Again, boring. It's got to be Newcastle. I think I've got a sample size of 2 now, or 3. Could be Tonali. It could be Trippier. It could be Barnes. I'm gonna be a gambler. I'm not going
rolling
to
the
go Tonali.
dice.
I'm not going to be Tonali. I'm going to go Barnes. Gordon's been out for
Yeah,
a while. I think he's just returned to grass this week. And Barnes has got a game and a half in him.
yeah.
He's in decent form,
So
so
yeah,
I'll go Barnes.
and I'll pick Trippier. Is the other option. 4.5% owned, 2 home games. Let's hope he can pick out a clean sheet and maybe get a free kick or two to
Free
get
kick
some
or corner, yeah,
assists.
nice.
So Bruno and Barnes for you, Joelinton and Trippier for me.
I
Newcastle.
prefer yours actually. I prefer your picks. Given we had a sample size of 5, I think you've managed to nail it. Yeah.
Well, the only other ones that I considered were single game week is like Enzo because he's got Ipswich, or Marino would be a nice differential at home to Brentford. But I think
Yeah.
Arsenal's eyes are very much on Madrid. But we will close. We will close with an update on the mini league. There are 38 of us, 84, 38, 84 of us in the league. Hassan has gone back to the top, previous leader, back
Nice.
up there with 64 points for the game week. His big players, same as you, mate. Livramento getting him 11 and Jacob Murphy getting him 16. Gives him 64 for the overall game week. He is currently 7.2k overall and has a 6 point lead over Nathan. So well done, Hassan, in that 84 league, mate. I am currently 40th and you are 23rd. So
Top
very
10
well done.
finish is on.
I hope so. I hope one of us finishes there. Just do it last, mate, because ever since I appeared on this table in game week 19, it's been downhill. So
Right. Well, you
just
were
get there
given a
late
big
in the
one to Dave
season.
Saunders, weren't you?
Well,
You give-
I think he's 12th. The other Dave Saunders is 12th.
he's kept
But
this
he's up
form.
there.
He's
He's
not.
kept
He's
it.
not panicked.
I know he's there. He's still there. But
If he went down your route, he would be. He would have Glasner for the second week in a row.
probably. But I don't even know. I'll have to have a look at his team. Hope you're doing well, Dave. I know he's a big listener. But yeah, if you're not in this league yet and you do want to join, the winner does get to decide what some form of punishment for whoever loses Matt versus Dave. But if you do want to join, it is T27ZGC. That's Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. Make sure to get yourself in the table, and that brings us to a close. Matt, we are closing in on 950 subs, mate. We are on 947,
Oh,
slowly getting there. It'd be really cool to get there before the season's out. 1,000 before the season's out. It'd be amazing.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I think there's some big game weeks, right? Some good content, and you're back as well, right? So it's not just me posting something out 2 hours before the
Yeah,
deadline and forgetting to broadcast myself properly. So yeah, apology about
that
that,
said,
guys. A part of
not at
that,
all.
is navigating passwords, your passwords, two-factor authentication,
With
different
a
time
5 hour
zones.
time difference.
Ex-
And me having very little
Exactly.
internet access off a ship. So
So
it was,
we are
I think
back.
you did a,
We are back. But yeah,
you did
1,000
a great job,
would be
pal.
great. But like, no, I think it's always very humbling. Like people leaving
Yeah,
comments,
that is
listening, and whatnot. It's
really
always
cool.
we just do this for fun, and we're yeah, was it less professional? Some people we just having the chat. So yeah, it's always very humbling. So yeah, super appreciate every listen and view. Question for you, my
Absolutely.
friend. How was it feeling, FPL? I think like for you, it must feel a bit tough, right? The heady
Right
heights
now,
of
yeah.
50k. And a few Reds, how are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm hating it. Absolutely hating it. This season, I just game week 19, I'm sat thinking, play sensible. I could get my highest ever finish. Um, Whereas now I'm sat, and okay, I've got 3 chips in the pocket still. Assistant manager, triple free hit, and bench boost, which may make a difference to me. But the problem is over those 12 game weeks that we've had, my green arrows have been tiny, and my red arrows have been pretty big. So yeah, I'm not enjoying it. I'm hoping this, and I don't think this game week's going to go in my favour either because I don't have Jacob Murphy, I don't have Livramento. They could really punish me given the doubles that Newcastle have.
You don't have
So,
Glasner.
and I'm Glasner as an assistant manager.
I,
Um,
I will stop. I'll stop there.
so yeah, I'm not enjoying it. But mate, last season I had a really decent season. I started off the first 19 weeks of this season having a really good season. So yeah, you don't give up when it gets difficult, right? You keep going.
Hey,
But you
with
must be
your,
you must be enjoying it again.
it's nice getting greens, but there's not been any big ones. So like I'd still not happy with my rank, but it's about the journey, right? So it's all good. I'm trying to minimize mistakes and stuff like that. So I've been generally quite happy with my play. But we'll do a proper debrief when we end of the season and then see what went well, what went wrong. Last season I played a bit dumb. I felt like I put 200 points out there, which was like right in front of me. this season I think I've been playing a bit tighter, so I'll keep it tight. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But that's funny. It's funny, mate. It's like I think when you're starting down from a low rank, you can play a bit more relaxed and chilled because it's like it's easy to get green arrows and then you're just going for it. I think when you're a little bit higher ranked, as I've been historically in previous seasons, you're playing a bit more cautiously and worrying about it. So I feel very relaxed and enjoying it. But yeah, mate, it's still solid. It's still a solid rank. A lot can kind of change. You've got lots of chips, like you said. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
was
think we'll
wanting,
move.
that Caribbean reflection, the philosophy, like
Yeah, well, I've had to change. If I can get a top 100k again, I've got 7 game weeks to do it. 3 chips to play, and I'll be well. Out of those 7 game weeks, mate, I'll have chips active for 5 of them, right? So if I can get myself another top 100k finish, making it 3 in a row, I'll be quite happy with that. Yeah,
yeah.
but
I'd love it. I'd love a top 100k finish, 1 out of 1. That'd be my.
you've only had one season not in the top 100k, right?
Yeah.
And this is your 10th season.
The first we were chatting together, isn't it?
Yeah, but like so I mean that's unbelievable. Nine top 100Ks in a row is that's why you've got the fifth most fit or top 5 most points in FPL over the last 10 seasons.
um, I need a good season. I think I've been playing all right. I think we've both been playing relatively solid, like to be fair. But yeah, we shall see. I'll be happy winning our little casual mini league.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some
As
tough
in,
competition up there though. Oof.
sorry, as in the one that, like there's about 12 of us in.
Uh,
As long as one of us wins it, that's all that matters.
uh, um,
That's all that matters. I won it last season. You win it this season. Let's do that. Let's do it that way. Stop
exactly.
the others.
I think I've got a 30-point deficit to bring it back in. But you know what that is? That's 2 defenders scoring a goal. So
Yeah,
all
exactly.
to play for. And yeah, doubles. What's going to happen, right? We saw it early in the year with Everton. Who was the big Everton scorers? Tarkowski, Pickford.
Yeah, did Brandthwaite get a big score?
Beto, Brand. Yeah, I think it was Tarkowski got his goal, didn't he? So yeah, I think it's
In the
you can get some
2-2.
kind of random people getting some decent scores, right? Or so yeah, who's going to be this week?
Diaz.
Mateta.
Ruben Diaz.
Well, he's not got the double, so I'd give him in game week 33. but
Give it to Diaz. Diaz and Guardiola to get a goal each. 2-0 City win.
I reckon record triple captaincy points. He's got in him. They,
Diaz.
I reckon that United game is ripe for a battering.
Yeah. 3-0, 4-0.
They're a very good team. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. I'm buzzing for it. I think like Newcastle, they've got very good players all around the squad. They're playing a bad team in United and a okay team in Palace. Both have not got much to play for.
Yeah.
I'm expecting big things.
And United surely after the 2-2 with Leon will have a head focus on Europe.
Well, they're safe, aren't they? And they can't do anything other than like lower
It's
mid-table. So
crazy, by the way. That sentence, United are safe. Growing up, did I ever think I'd hear that? They were dominating the league when I was growing up.
shock, aren't they? Shocking,
Mm.
shocking, shocking, shock. That's why my record's been good in FPL because like some years people were still thinking, oh yeah, I'm a United fan. Whenever they win a game, I'll bring in loads of players. But yeah, they're safe. I reckon these are some very interesting games for Newcastle.
I need clean sheets is what I need with my double Burn and Pope. That's what I need to happen. And I need Murphy to be quiet. Don't see it. That's what I
I'm
need to
I'm seeing
see.
I'm seeing a lot of goals.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm
I know.
excited.
Who takes corners? Trippier? I'll do.
Well, Gordon does, isn't he? But he's not starting,
Awesome.
so it'll be Trippier. Trippier will be doing it, and you got big Dan Burn.
That's what I'm after. A Dan Burn
Shares
off a
in there.
corner. That's what I need to see. A little, like he did in the League Cup final. Let's see.
Yeah,
And did he not score for England as well? So let's see that Dan Burn getting some corner goals.
yeah.
That'll help. That'll help.
Who,
Yeah,
who,
we'll
who are
reapproach.
you assistant man? Where is your assistant manager now?
So it's going to have to be played around 36, right? Because that'll be another double game week, likely with the FA Cup. So it'll cover that. Whether it's 35, 36, 37, or 36, 37, 38, I'll have to review the fixtures and see
Yeah.
what gives me the most potential points there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it'll include 36 somewhere.
Have you got a favourite mid-table manager?
Glasner is the downside to that answer because it is
Right.
Glasner. It's
Yeah.
they're not
Well, they had a
they're sat
shock.
about
They
12.
had the shocking first half of the season form, and now they're coming back in. So all the signs pointing there. But on that note, is that a good way to finish?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
on,
I'm
bring us home.
fed up of ruining with my mistakes. But Matt, good to be back, pal. Good to catch up with you. We'll catch up again next week ahead of game week 33, when we will both be bench boosting. So we'll have a little chat around the teams that are doubling and who our picks will be. But yeah, good to be back with you, mate. And I look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yeah, keep on smiling, mate. Brave face.
Keep it going. We'll keep it going. And to you, the listener, thank you for joining us. As I say, good for us both to be back together. We should be back together now till the end of the season, and then do an episode following that as well. But whatever you decide to do this game week, may your arrows be green. We'll see you on the other side.